We're live. Hello, hello, hello.
Nice. Oh, hey. Hello.
Hey,
Hello there.
keep
I don't
talking.
have. Did you? Did you? Is that a new Batman behind you? By the way,
It is a new Batman behind me.
I've been meaning to ask. It looks cool. He looks like he's like about to throw a batarang.
Uh, yeah, he is. Can you tell me which Batman that is, though?
Is it Robert Pattinson's?
No.
It's got a thinner face than I think I'm used to seeing on it, and longer black gloves. I think from here.
Ryan, do you want to, without looking, Ryan, can you take a guess which Batman I have behind me?
That is the. Yeah, again, did you tell me not to look at it?
I mean, you weren't looking at the when I said that. You can look now.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say it's no. Those years are too long for the Ben Affleck one.
Well, that's why I thought it was the Pattinson one.
No, I'm gonna say it's either. It's got. It's. It's got to be Batman Forever or the Batman. Yeah. It's Batman Forever.
Batman
Is it
Forever.
Batman Forever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's his sonar suit from the end of the movie.
Oh, that's cool.
Because
That is his Batman, so it's the safest
Yeah.
guess.
every year at I'm gonna start recording. When I was in Richmond for the Horrific Hope Film Festival, or not Richmond,
Yeah.
in Winchester with Victims and Villains for the Horrific Hope Film Festival, we got there early and just spent some time shopping like the downtown shops. And there's this toy store there that last year I bought a Batman Forever pinball machine, like a little tabletop thing. Like it's nothing big, doesn't really work that well, but it's a Batman Forever pinball machine. And I was like, I have to get that.
Right.
So I go there this time, and I almost bought one of those Marvel Legend figures of Andrew Garfield because I had it.
Oh shoot.
And I texted my wife who was back home. I was like, "Hey, should I get this Andrew Garfield?" She's like, "That's not your Spider-Man." I was like, "Yeah, that's fair." So I put it back, and I was like, "But this is my Batman," and then sent her that. So
You didn't even send it to her. You just came home with it.
I didn't even
Send it to the
I was
punchline
like,
days later.
yeah, I sent her the pictures like, yeah, but this is my Batman, and just said like that was just my way of letting her know I'm coming home with a Batman figure for my desk behind me. Should we get into this?
I am ready whenever you are, man.
All right, let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome to You Have to Watch This podcast. I'm Alan.
I'm Ryan. Sorry.
And I'm Devin.
And today we're going to be talking about a film that Ryan's been trying to get us to watch for years now, but now that it's finally available on digital, he could. We're going to be talking about James Cameron's The Abyss Special Edition. So we'll be talking about that here soon. Sorry we missed you last week, everyone. It was a bit of a crazy week. On all of our ends, it was just chaos. I'm still in chaos. Like the semester's almost over. I'm ready for summer. 2 more weeks.
Almost.
2 more
You're almost
weeks.
there, man.
Almost there.
Is it really only 2 more weeks for summer for you?
And until school's out, and then, yeah.
That's crazy to me. It still hasn't cracked 50 degrees Fahrenheit here yet. I'm still in winter coats. Like, it hasn't hit that it's almost summer for anyone yet. Yeah.
But I wanted to talk about something that aired last week that I had ready for we watched this. We didn't get to. Something happened on the internet that a lot of people our age were upset about and like emotional about on the internet. Devin, do you know what I'm talking about? It was on Disney Plus.
Tortured Poet Society.
No, that's another thing. We can talk about that later.
We are all officially. You know what? After that, I have people asking me if I'm a Swiftie now. By the way.
Oh yeah, are you?
Yeah, like real people. Like, are you Swiftie? Did this happen, Devin? I'm like, yeah, I liked it.
I like that people are reaching out to you, but not engaging with the video itself.
That is engaging. You go straight to the source. You go to Devin and go, what is happening?
Yeah. But no, Devin, do you know what I'm talking about?
Is it X-Men 97?
No, it's Bluey. I saw a bunch of people like our age getting upset about this episode of Bluey. like not upset, but like emotional over it. I was like, I'll check it out. I've seen Bluey. It's like 10-minute episodes. They're good. I watch it. It's a half hour long about like the trauma of moving your family and uprooting everything. I was like,
oh no.
oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
shit.
It was good. Ryan, you like Bluey, right?
Yeah, I have not seen the new season yet because I just haven't had time to get to it. But I have binged the first 2 seasons of it, and it's a gold mine. Like, Bluey is literally the best animated thing, like, just in general to have come out in the past, like, 4 years. In the U.S. anyway. I know it's been out longer in Australia, but...
Yeah. When we were in Winchester, we went to Outback Steakhouse because there's one right there by the theater. So a bunch of us went out there for dinner, and Bluey was on in the lobby.
Oh.
But yeah, no, Devin, have you watched any Bluey?
I've officially started watching Bluey.
Nice.
I watched the first couple episodes the other day. I'm officially on board. I get it. I know I don't have enough to like actually talk about it at length, aside from, man, is that dad committed, and boy, are the mom and dad jobs really funny.
Yeah.
That's all I got so far. But expect full reviews from me later, I guess.
Sounds good.
Bluey.
Coming soon to Patreon.
Yeah, right. Just be crying.
But no, but really, that was just a setup for me to say that I'm caught up on X-Men 97.
I finally have somebody to talk to about this. What do you think?
I love it.
Oh.
Did you watch this week's episode?
Was this week with Storm?
No.
Then I'm an episode behind.
The episode that came out today. So I'm ahead of you now.
No. I hate that.
Yeah. This is a very good show. They're doing. If you're an X-Men fan, this is a good year for you because not only do you get this this show, but then you also get Deadpool and Wolverine, which also just dropped a trailer this week. Did you guys see that?
I've watched it 3 times. I don't want to talk about it. I mean, I do. I love it. I can't believe I've watched it. So like, I was like sitting around like yesterday. I was like, I want to watch something. Trailer. And then I was like having a rough day on the way back from Norwich today, and I'm like, trailer.
There you go.
Helping me get through my life right now.
It's something to look forward to. Now that the Tortured Poets Department is out, like you have something else to look forward to.
All 2 hours of it, man.
Yeah. All 2 albums of it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Go her. My gosh.
Yeah. I reached out to I wanted to talk about X-Men, but now here we are talking about Taylor Swift.
She's my X-Men.
I reached out to my niece about it. Like, are you excited for the new album? She's like, what new album? I was like, how do I know about the new album, but you don't? I think she knew about it. She just didn't know it was coming out the next day.
Oh, got it. Did she listen to it? Did she like it?
She did. I was like, what's your favorite song? She's like, I don't know the name of it. I was like, okay.
Uncle Alan, I can't read.
Yeah. But her favorite song, she told me later, was "Who's Afraid of Little Old Me?" And I was like, that's fitting for a 7 going on 8-year-old. Like,
it's a good one. Yeah.
But yeah, no, X-Men 97 is great. I want them to do the Spider-Man series again, and this week's episode gives me hope for that. So,
does it?
Somebody not of the mutant origin shows. Actually, a few people from outside the X-Men world of Marvel show up in this one. So
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so the one thing I will say is that I messaged you guys about a big episode, and I heard back from both you and Anna about the episode. And this is actually beforehand. And the thing that I appreciate the most about you guys is you guys don't just say, I think Storm's going to turn into a frog this season. You go, I think they're going to do the plot line from this comic book run and this comic book run and this comic book run, because in the first episode, Gambit sneezed. And you guys are so right. You guys were spot on.
So what happened there was when you messaged us, we had just started the show. Because that episode came out and I knew something big happened. So I was like, I want to finish the X-Men series. Let's just watch the finale and then jump right into 97. So that day we started the show and we got like 3 episodes in, and then we went out and ran errands, and you were messaging us, and she started messaging you directly. So I'm driving and she's just on her phone typing away like everything. She's like, because she's telling me like I think I know where they're going, and I don't know if I don't know how to feel about it. I was like, well, don't tell me because I don't want to know. Like, I think I know what's happening because the internet spoiled it, but I don't want to know. But then you were caught up, and then she's like, okay, I'm gonna tell Devin everything and then see how right I am.
She was right. She was 100% right.
Yeah.
And it really was something as esoteric as like, oh, because they mentioned this thing, I think these things are going to happen in doing this arc. I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed.
Meanwhile, I was driving us to Antique so I could buy a Star Wars Episode 1 trailer film reel.
That's incredible. Do you have it?
Yeah. It's upstairs. Film? Yeah, it's like a film, the trailer film reel, like those little wheel things.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Now I just need to get a projector.
Second one, digital and analog.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So that's what I've got. Who watched the Baby Reindeer?
Ooh, pick me.
All right, Ryan.
God damn it.
I'm going to defer to Devin.
All right, I am going to do such a poor job of selling you guys on this because I've been doing this to every single person I tell about it. This is an incredible miniseries. I've been thinking all day about how to sell this to people. I have no idea. This is an incredible miniseries about a would-be stand-up comedian who gets a stalker. Stalker shows aren't new. They happen all the time, especially on Netflix and like the true crime thing. The thing I like about this is, A, it's a real story or a true story of what happened. But I think what I like the most about it is how compassionate the storytelling is to every person involved in it. And it doesn't follow the trope that a lot of stalker stories take, where it's like, look at this innocent, nice little victim, and look at this absolute monster. Did you know that monsters exist in people form? Because here is one. And actually what it does, especially at the end, is it makes you empathize with every single person on the screen, even if what they're doing isn't how you would act. And it's that like depth of emotion for me that I absolutely love. It's incredible. It is so worth the watch. I don't know how to sell this to people. I asked Romana if she wants to watch. I'm like, it's a stalker. She's like, not interested. I'm like, it's a good thing about a stalker? And she's like, didn't sell me on it. And she hasn't watched it. I just want to talk to someone about this. So one of you please watch this stalker miniseries on Netflix so we can talk about it.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Sorry, I got distracted there. I guess my wife is watching the show because she brought me the trailer.
I love it. That is so cool looking.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's how big a trailer was, too. I figured they were much smaller.
Well, I'm adding this to my collection of this, Daredevil with Ben Affleck, and Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers.
Stupid question.
Yes.
But because I know the answer to this, it's an obvious, of course you are. When you get your analog projector and you put this in, are you also going to put an old-timey piano next to your projector to fill in the score while the films play? You don't have to answer. I know it's already a yes.
Yeah, and I'm going to do my Jar Jar Binks impression as well.
Why aren't you always doing a Jar Jar Binks impression?
Careful, because you're about to step in big boo-doo this time.
I am.
So I had to do some research before I bought this because they had two trailers for episode 1 there. They had trailer A and trailer B, and I had to look up which one was what. So trailer A is the one that had like a lot of the title cards. It said every generation has a beginning, like that, like the text. This one is just straight up the trailer, like just.
Oh, that's cool.
Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor, like pod racing, all that stuff that's what this one is. So cool. Yeah.
Dare you open it? Have you peeked?
I don't know if it was ever played because it still has the stickers on it.
Whoa.
So it doesn't look like it's ever been played. But
very cool.
Yeah. I'm happy about it. So
nice.
Yeah. I can show you more things that I got later because I have some next to me. All right, you guys watched Fallout.
Yes.
I'm gonna defer to Ryan for this one.
Okay.
Actually.
Okay. So my wife and I are at like episode 4 or 5 or something like that.
So the whole show's out now, the whole season.
All
Yeah.
8 episodes are out at the moment. Yes.
Okay.
Ryan, do you think it was a good idea?
I'll put it to you this way: I've never played a Fallout game. I told Kristen right at the start that all I know is that they wear blue and yellow suits. There's a thumbs up guy, and they wear a giant information bracelet. That is it. And she was like, "Okay." So we watched it, and we are fully enjoying this show. They've already been greenlit for season 2. I cannot wait because I'm really hoping this eventually leads to a The Division or BioShock series. Because
Ooh.
from what I've been hearing from people that I know who are huge fans of the video game, they've done this show right. They've done a good balance of their own original story with a lot of references to the video game, like heavy references and little like I forget the word, treats for the fans, like little things in the background.
Easter eggs.
Easter eggs. Thank you. I forgot the word. I like treats now. I'm going to say treats from now
Oh, treats.
on.
Do you want to know what I love about this show? Alan, have you seen any of this?
I have not. I've never played the games either.
Okay, so I played a wee bit of the games. And first, Ryan, it makes me really happy to know that you like it, not having it, because I see a lot of think pieces that are like, is Fallout actually a good TV show, or are nerds just nerds? And it makes me happy to know that you like it without context.
Yeah, I mean, I made a meme and I posted it on Facebook, like on my own page, and then I also posted it in a few groups. And if anyone knows Top Gear, there's an episode where Jeremy Clarkson goes, "I think this is brilliant, but I like this."
Oh, it's classic.
With like 2 different things, and
Yeah.
I put Fallout where he's like, "This is brilliant," and then I had the little clip art from Blast from the Past, but I like this because it's pretty like both storylines happen because of the Cold War. In one of them, bombs actually drop, and the other one they don't, and it's about people coming out of a bunker and dealing with what the world is at that point. So it's kind of similar. It's kind of funny. But, like, I love the premise of the show. I love the premise of the idea. And the way that they're exploring the world of Fallout little bits at a time in each episode is making it easy to digest. Because I have to admit, if they tried to cram the first 5 episodes into one, I would have turned this thing off and stopped watching. But they definitely set everything up well for people who've never played the games before and who don't know the storyline.
It's also just really fun to see Michael Emerson in anything.
Is that the ghoul? The nose missing?
No, it's the
Michael
scientist.
Emerson's in this?
Yes, he is. Briefly, but he is.
Oh, he's the. Oh, okay. Yes. He's the scientist. My thing is the ghoul. I forget his name.
Walton Goggins.
I really like him.
Yeah.
I really like this. I'm not gonna say that he stole the show because everyone does an excellent job in this, but I love the ghoul character and the whole premise around what a ghoul is.
Walton Goggins is fantastic in everything. He's Uncle Baby Billy on Righteous Gemstones. Everything he's in is good.
He's the prisoner from the Predators movie that I had you guys watch. That's right.
Oh,
he's the prisoner. That's right. Okay. He was good in that too.
I'm excited to watch this now. Now that I know Michael Emerson's in it. Yeah. All right, cool. And then we also have Ripley. Who watched that?
It was me.
Okay.
All right. So first off, have either of you ever seen The Talented Mr. Ripley, like the movie with Matt Damon and Jude Law?
Oh man, I thought this was gonna have to do with the alien movies.
No, unfortunately not. So first off, I've never seen that movie either. But this is apparently a longer miniseries version of that same story. But instead of Matt Damon, you get Andrew Scott, Dakota Fanning, and Johnny Flynn. And it's really good. It's all in black and white. And Andrew Scott, you guys know him, or would probably know him as Moriarty from the Benedict Cumberbatch run of Sherlock.
Okay.
He's also in like a Marvel thing, I think, but he's just so good. He's so like he has this like interesting mix of like creepy, and the whole time I'm just thinking like, does he have a plan? Like this is based on someone called the talented Mr. Ripley, and I'm not seeing talent, but also I'm not seeing talent. And it does this really interesting thing of like, well, how much does he know? How much is he doing? How much is planned? And how much is he improvising? It's really interesting as a watch, and I really enjoy it. I don't know that I want someone to watch it as much as I want someone to watch Baby Reindeer, but I'm loving it. I am loving this. That's all I got. Would you guys watch this?
I want to watch the movie first.
Well, I'm going to make you both watch the movie, because after this, I now want to watch the movie and then read the book series that both of these are based on.
Is that going to be your pick next week?
No, it's certainly not.
Okay.
My pick next week is my pick next week, because I haven't finished this yet and don't have time.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, cool. So I think that leads us into today's main topic, The Abyss. Ryan's pick for the week. Ryan, you've been wanting us to watch this for a while now, to the point where you threatened us to like kidnap us and drag us to your house to make us watch the DVD of it.
Yes. So, because I'll get into the reasoning for that.
Yeah. So take it away, Ryan.
Okay, so The Abyss is is a James Cameron film. The theatrical version came out in 1989 to basically a dull showing. It really the movie wasn't like really critically acclaimed. Box office was kind of lukewarm on it. And the theatrical version is what I originally saw when I was a kid, and I really liked it. And I saw it on like HBO. My parents had like, this is 1990, like 1991 when I eventually saw it, probably maybe 92. And I really liked it, but I was like a little nerd, and I liked underwater sea stuff. I had underwater sea Legos, and I loved watching SeaQuest. So regardless of how dull the original version of the movie was, I still loved it. And then one day my dad came home when I was a little older, with the special edition DVD set that had the director's cut which says on the DVD on the menu, it says director's cut, not special edition. Huh. And I was like, oh, what's this? And I watched it, and I'm like, oh my God, this movie is a completely different movie, and I absolutely love this. I love the meaning of it. This should be the only version of it. And this has always been within my like top 10 favorite movies ever. I don't watch it a lot because of how long it is, and I've been recently waiting for it to come out on Blu-ray, and then eventually when I found out that it was getting remastered and being re-released, I've been waiting for this. And I haven't felt this way about rewatching a movie ever. Like, I remember watching it as a kid for the first time, watching it in like remastered, the sound remastered, it looked the way I imagined watching it for the first time was, because having it on DVD was just the standard def, no clarity to it at all. So on all my TVs, it's been blurry for the past like 20 some years. So seeing it this way made me I had the best time rewatching this.
So cool.
I have a few notes about some of the stuff that happened, but really I just want to get your guys's, if you had any history with it prior, what your initial reaction was before I get into my threat of kidnapping you guys and dragging you to my house. So, whoever wants to go first.
You want to go first, Alan?
I enjoyed this. I have some this has solidified some opinions I have on James Cameron, the filmmaker. It's there seems to be similar themes throughout a lot of his work. One of which is water. I enjoyed this. It was long. I had to break it up into 2 watches over the rental period because I straight up fell asleep at one point. And I'll tell you later where I fell asleep and woke up to, because it's like, oh wait, what I miss? I need to go back and rewind this. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't know if it's one that I would watch again just because of the length of it, but I will say, since we delayed this a week, I was very tempted to go back and watch the regular edition to see what the differences are. So I cannot wait. I cannot wait until you tell me that what's not in the movie. And if the one thing isn't in the movie, I'm going to be not that surprised.
Okay.
I have an idea.
So.
I'll when we get to that part of the talk, I'll speculate about what they added because I have a theory.
I will ask you what your theory is before I tell you.
Okay.
Perfect. I like this. I like this a lot. I have several different kind of like modes in me in terms of like movies, like movie watching Devin, right? There's like the movie watching Devin that knows that he's in for a dumb, like crappy movie and is just down for a good, silly time. And then sometimes there's movie watching Devin that just wants a really slow, speculative sci-fi movie. And this like ticked all those boxes. All of them. They would like introduce a unique, interesting concept and go, but, it's not even the cool thing. Don't worry about that. Breathable water, That's just a plot point for later. Don't worry about the breathable water. Like, and it's one of the few movies that I watched the whole time and went, how did they shoot that? And like, it could have been a lot of miniatures, but knowing James Cameron, it was the middle of the ocean and he had all of his dive buddies doing it. So
I have answers for you on all of that.
I cannot wait.
I have answers for you on that because I know stuff.
I know nothing. I will tell you, and we'll put a pin in this until later, this movie reminded me of an annoying childhood thing and then immediately resolved it. I have a really funny history with this movie because I have had exactly half of exactly one scene shown to me and never the latter half of that scene. So I'll have to tell you about that later. But now I finally got to watch the whole thing because I'm an adult and can do that now.
On that note, I had something happen in this movie. I was like, oh, I know that. Can you guess what I picked up on immediately from this movie, that even though I had never seen it before?
Was it Rat Guy?
No, it wasn't a character. It was something about the film itself. It's not a character or an actor.
No, what was it?
The musical theme.
Yeah.
It started playing.
Guess that.
It started playing. It's like, oh, I know what that's. I know. I wasn't even like, I know what that's from because I'm watching the movie. Obviously, I was like, that's Alan Silvestri. Because I had like a compilation like suite of his music at one point. I think I still have it, and that's like the opening piece of it. Like it's the theme to The Abyss, and then right into Wedding Bells and the theme to Father of the Bride. It's unhinged.
That is a hard turn.
Like it's that big build up with the horns, and then like it fades out, and then it's like the bells. I'll send it to you guys then.
Okay.
But yeah, I immediately knew that the music was from Alan Silvestri because I listened to that suite of music, and I'm like, I know a few, like I know Father of the Bride. I don't know the rest of these because they're not in the song titles anywhere, and I don't have the book that comes with the CD, so I don't know what these are from. So I'm slowly putting it together. So I've got this one and Father of the Bride.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Okay, good. I am really happy that both of you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Simply because of how much this movie means to me. I'm so happy to hear that both of you guys like it. Okay, so before we get into everything, brief summary of the movie. There's a couple fighting for their marriage. There are Marines that come down and cause chaos. And then aliens come into the third act and basically save everyone who's left. That's the as basic of a summary that I can give. the reason why I threatened you guys to be like, I am kidnapping both of you and dragging you back to my apartment is because for the longest time, there was a fear that this movie was never going to get on Blu-ray and never get a re-release because of licensing disagreements between Cameron and the other group. I think I have a weird memory about his ex-wife or something. I don't even know if he has an ex-wife, but
Catherine Bigelow, yeah.
Okay, so
I've got the receipts.
Okay, there you go. I believe she had like rights in it too, and there was a lot of disagreement about how to handle all the junkiness of it. So finally, for the longest time, I thought that, man, the only way that I'm going to be able to have these guys watch this movie is for Devin to be in the U.S., for us to, like come over here because I wanted you guys to see it on my TV with my sound system and like watch the DVD. But then that wasn't going to be like, I wasn't going to be completely happy about it because it's not in high def, it's in standard def, and that looks like crap on a high def TV. So as soon as I found out about this, which Alan helped because I was oblivious to it, Alan told me like back in December or November that it was getting re-released. I unfortunately was not able to see it in theaters, which I'm still upset about. But I didn't think that this was going to happen. And then when Alan told me it was, I'm like, that's it. I know as soon as I can, we're doing this movie, and I couldn't be happier about it. So that's why that's why there was the threat. Like, I didn't think this was going to happen. So there's that. And then, so let's just get into what you guys want to talk about. Be the best way to do it.
Yeah.
So whatever topic you guys want to bring up first, let's just start having fun.
I will start off with this. James Cameron cannot make a short movie to save his life.
We can't.
And that man loves the color blue and water.
Were these the themes that
yeah. Yeah. Well, that, and like, it's a very environmental tale too. Like, yeah. Like, just like the Avatar films, which is fine because he is an advocate for the oceans and all of that. I'm an advocate for Oceans 11, 12, and 13.
Perfect.
And 8. I still haven't. I need to watch 8.
Oh, Alan, come on now.
Yeah. When I saw Avatar 2 in theaters, I was like, this is a little bit of every James Cameron movie ever, because you got the giant robots fighting like it's Terminator. You've got the ship sinking in the water. I didn't add the Abyss into that mix, but it definitely still fits the equation. The only thing that's missing now is like Arnold Schwarzenegger in True Lies. Like, come on now.
That, and James Cameron really, really, really likes that one warhead, because they have it in True Lies and they have it in this. I mean, that could also be just the standard shape of what a nuclear warhead looks like, but I'm just going to go off the fact that he likes that model.
I think I don't know this for a fact, but I want to say that the reason this and True Lies and what was the other one? There was another James Cameron movie that got re-released from Fox.
Piranha 2.
No, I think Aliens got remastered too. But I know this and True Lies were Fox. And I think part of the reason they got re-released is because Disney bought out Fox. And Disney is throwing a lot of money at James Cameron for the Avatar movies now because those are Fox productions. So I think that's part of the reason that these got re-releases. So thanks, Mickey.
Yeah, I mean, if it turned out that this was like one of his things where it's like, look, I'll do this stuff with you, but there are some things that need to be done that I've always wanted to like get taken care of. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's kind of how this happened.
Yeah. So I need to know what is different in the theatrical cut from this one.
Can I guess?
Devin, your guess.
So they added what, 30 to 40 extra minutes?
28 minutes.
28 minutes.
Or 28 to 32, depending on what article you read.
all of those 28 minutes are spent on the what is her name, on Will Lindsay survivor not scene when they're resuscitating Lindsay.
Oh yeah, no, that's in the original.
It's all that was way too long, that scene. Like,
no,
I have never seen that, because I've seen that scene before, like that type of scene before. Like, come back to life, dang you! And then they go no, and then they give up.
And then an hour later, she's alive again.
And it wasn't even the saving breaths or the compressions. It was that he slapped her and called her a nerd, and that's what brought her back to life.
Well, it wasn't necessarily calling her a nerd. It was just getting her. See, the reason why I like that scene is because this is going to make me sound psychotic, but it's because I've spent nearly the majority of like about 40% of my youth life in and out of the hospital. My dad worked in hospitals, so this is where this is coming from. Suffocation scenes in movies are too short. They are not as violent as what the body actually does in those scenarios. And bringing someone back takes longer than what they show in movies typically. The resuscitation scene in the abyss has issues. It's not entirely realistic, but the length is realistic about how long because the body needs to warm back up. Right. While they're doing that. So it's going to take multiple charges, like a long time doing CPR, and the way that I see him hitting her is just like his emotional reaction, because like I said, this movie is 3 parts. It's about, 2 people trying to get their marriage, it's like 2 people kind of fighting for their marriage. And that's where this is like the turning point in that. Of where her drowning is like it's basically the ultimate trust fall exercise.
Yeah.
And so he's letting all of his emotions out. Everything that he's been carrying throughout the whole movie, the anger from their discussion from when she first got down there, and they're kind of like sniping back and forth. The scene where they go into where she's going to be staying, the room that she's going to be staying in, that scene, I believe, was added on. Okay. So that scene was missing from the original cut. I believe in the original cut, he goes straight from smashing his head on the pipe to throwing his ring in the toilet. They completely cut out that scene where they're in the room, like talking back and forth. Like, I believe a lot of his pent-up emotions finally comes out in that scene. And, she comes back and he's relieved. And that, I feel, is kind of like, okay, that part of the story's over. They're back together, like officially back together now.
So can I tell you why I think that scene might have felt too long to me?
Okay.
Because this is the only part of The Abyss I've ever seen in my life. Was my dad brought 10-year-old Devin into the living room and goes, Devin, I want you to watch this scene. I think it's really good. And I go, okay, what is it? He goes, there are these 2 people and they're stuck on a sinking submarine. Look at how they get out of it. And I watch all the way up until she drowns and he is dragging her body, swimming back to the base, and then he turns it off so 10-year-old Devin doesn't accidentally see boobs. And I never knew if she survived or not. Never in my life. He didn't even tell me, by the way, she's fine. Just, here's this messed up scene. Live your life now.
I thought that was going a different way. I thought your dad showed you the whole scene, so you did get to see boobs.
Nope. Whole opposite way. Didn't get to do it.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So I now, after, 34 years... now know, or 24 years, now know that she survives that scene. And that's why I was like, let me know if she lives or not. Come on, I've been waiting for years.
Okay.
Can I ask what the main thing, like what the big things are that get cut from this movie?
Because so I'm going to tell you.
Oh, no. So, actually, can I give my guess?
Yeah, sure.
Is a lot of it have to do with the alien stuff at the end?
No.
No? Okay.
Is it the
Partly.
Marines?
No, the
Is it, like,
Marines are in it.
Okay.
Okay, do you want me to tell you now?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
You're gonna hate it.
What?
They cut out everything that has to do with the Cold War and the giant waves about to wipe out humanity. At the end of the movie, when the alien comes and sweeps him off the ledge and they fly into the ship and the water separates and he takes his helmet off, he basically, like, they cut the whole conversation down to, hi, how, you know, it's like, hi, you know, it's like, why am I here? And the alien points, and it's his message back to his wife. I love you, wife. And that's it. And then everything starts to raise up. They completely cut the whole, like, death to humanity thing. The day the Earth stood still storyline that they do in this movie, gone. Everything's gone. Them was looking at the TV and seeing all of the news footage about, like, the Russian aggression and, like, all of this other crap that's going on, and all of the talk about, you know, hey man, like, there's Russians up there, I'm not comfortable down here. Gone. None of that's in the original release.
That's like the point of the movie.
Yeah.
Did Huey Lewis and the News' Power of Love start playing as he was raising back up?
No. It's not. But
wow.
You can tell by how I explain that how irritated I am that was cut, because that's literally, to me, like, the main premise of the like the last half of the movie, and, like, you need that to like just to sit just opposed to the storyline with the SEALs.
Yeah.
Because it balances that out. Because without it, you're just like, this is a romance with a crazy Marine. What's the point of this movie?
So when they rise up to the surface, then is there any reaction to that? Because I know at the end of this one, they say, like, things are going to have to change now. Like,
no, that's still in it.
That's still in it?
Yeah.
I mean,
because
they're not wrong. Like,
because
they they found an alien.
Because all of the like hostility between, like, the crew and the military of the whole thing, like, that's still there. Like, a lot of that, like, uncomfortableness between the two groups is still present in the original release. And because this movie came out in 1989, like, that line with having just the U.S. military there, I think it was pretty much kind of, like, blatant. Like, some board member at the studio was like, James, you have this line. We don't need 28 minutes of, like, you know, hippie peace stuff in your movie. We're going to cut all that out because that line's good enough. Like, I feel like that's what the conversation was.
Oh, absolutely. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
It is, like, it's and this is why I told you guys I do not want you watching the original release. I only want you to see the special edition.
I can see that.
I kind of wish I had gone back and watched the original before the show now.
I mean, you can. It's a shorter movie. It's only 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Well, so what's funny, like, honestly, I kind of did watch the original then, because I fell asleep when he goes into the ship and then they start talking to him. Because I made it to him going down and landing to stop the bomb, and then woke up to him flying into the ship. And I'm like, I missed something here. So I went back and got the whole, like, message to the wife before he went back in.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, like, that's just the weird place to end it. But in my defense, I didn't know there were aliens in this. I thought this was going to be alien in underwater. Like, I thought that's what this movie was.
Okay. Which, I mean, that's kind of, I think that's what a lot of people thought this movie was going to be. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why it didn't get, I mean, granted, the story itself is lackluster because of what they cut out. But I feel like that's what a lot of people wanted this to be, given Cameron's track record.
Right.
Is at that time. And I feel like that's where a lot of the, like, lackluster lackluster review came from when the theatrical version came out. Now the theatrical version came out in '89, and this is just how quickly the special edition came out. It was finished in 1990. James Cameron made his director's cut, finally got it all set and done in 1990, like a year after, and then it was released in New York and in LA in 1993, and eventually went nationwide.
Wow.
So like the movie, like 4 or 5 years later, that Cameron wanted to put out, eventually did go to theaters. But I feel like the already like I don't want to watch a boring, slow underwater oil driller movie like again in theaters. I this movie should have been released with his original vision, and it would have gotten and this movie I feel would get the respect that it actually deserves along with his other titles, because I truly feel that this movie is underrated. The special edition.
I want to travel back to 1998 and find the guy who said, walking out of Armageddon, that was just the abyss in space.
There's got to be one.
There's got to be one.
There's got to be one.
If I'm the first one to say that, then I'm very surprised. But that's what this is. Like, we're gonna get, you know who can save the day? Oil drillers. Like, let's get them in here.
Okay, so oil drillers. I want to get into that.
Oh.
One of my things about this movie that I like as an adult, something that I did not appreciate when I was a teenager, was how grounded they made these people, because they're underwater. They are living like 1,000+ feet underwater. They're doing this underwater drilling thing. Instead of having like an oil rig above the water, they're trying to do, just put them on the floor. And typically up until this point, people related to that type of environment to scientists, not like, blue collar, oil drillers.
Right.
And one of the best things they did in this movie to ground them to being who they are in 2 scenes. When Hippie with the rat is playing his like reggae music, and the one guy with the beard, I think it was, says, "Can you turn that hippie crap off the radio?" And then when they're moving the rig, they're playing a song by, now granted this is country, I don't know country artists, so if I butcher her last name I apologize. They're playing the song Willin' by Linda Ronstadt.
Linda Ronstadt.
Ronstadt.
Ronstadt, yeah.
Ronstadt. My dyslexic brain gets caught up on the TADT part. That's the part that got me messed up. And then the lyrics here for the lyrics that they were singing was out on the road late last night. I'd see my pretty Alice in every headlight. Alice, Dallas, Alice. I've been to Tucson and Tomoka, 2 other town names that I can't pronounce. Driven every kind of rig that's ever been made. Driven the back roads so I wouldn't get weighed. So pretty much wouldn't get ticketed for having a load. And then they're all singing in the movie, like they're all singing in tandem. And if I give you some weed, whites, and wine, I'm not sure what whites means, and wine, and you show me a sign, and I'll be willing to be moving. And so they're moving the rig, playing this song. And I'm like, awesome. They're grounding these people as normal blue collar people, which is great because of what the message of the movie is. Like, these are just people just trying to live their life and like make $1. Like, that's, like, that's it.
I really liked that scene though. And I like knowing that this was a special edition, every single time anything happened in the movie, I was like, I bet they cut that from the theatrical version, and it's the most important scene. And how did they do that? I didn't guess the alien bit at the end, by the way. I was wrong every time. But this was one of the scenes that I was like, I bet they cut that out of the theatrical.
Which is a great scene.
It's a great scene. It's what endeared me to those characters immediately. Except for the guy with the rat. That's how you endear someone to me. Give him a rat. Make the rat survive. Well done, James Cameron. Thank you.
So I need to go back and correct myself. The special edition was completed in 1992, not 1990.
Still, that's
so it took
real
them
quick,
through
though.
like, it took them that long to fix it. So another thing I wanted to mention was the rat scene with the liquid. Do you guys know anything about this? Because I'm hoping you don't, because I'm about to drop something on you that you're not going to believe.
I know nothing about this scene.
Okay, Alan.
This is one of the scenes I wish I knew how they shot.
I read about it. You go ahead.
Oh
Okay.
no!
I won't steal your glory.
This is real. So there were 2 doctors at Duke University that created real oxygenated fluorocarbon fluid that can be breathed in, because the line in the movie, like, it's like your body breathed liquid for 9 months, it'll remember.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think the liquid is that falls out when a woman says her water broke?
Yeah, but don't ask me how I think any of that works. Right.
Okay, so
I don't have good answers.
Okay, so anyway, the rat did actually go underwater, and the only reason why that they cut to the actors' faces during that scene was because they didn't want to actually put in the movie the rat actually panicking as it was starting to breathe in the liquid. So
wait,
that was all real.
So like when the rat was breathing in the liquid, when you saw its little mouth opening and closing.
That's all real.
I thought that was a puppet.
That's not a puppet. That's a real rat. And it was actually breathing the liquid, and those 2 actors are giving honest reactions.
Oh my god! Did it survive?
Of course it did. Yeah.
What do you mean? Of course it did. You're telling me the thing that literally 15 minutes ago I was like, that's all science fiction mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, no, it's real.
You're telling me that's a real thing. Why aren't we breathing water now? Why can't I get
because they probably can't get it to work on a human scale. I have no idea.
I can't
find anything on it.
Just wait until Avatar 5. Like, that's how you're gonna have to see it. IMAX 5D.
There is so much. I think I have a thing with drowning. There is so much about this movie with drowning that gets to me in a visceral level. Because it's the rat that they do it with. It's the scene where Lindsay does it. And then it's the scene where he has to learn to breathe that fluid, where you watch him freak out. That had me on edge every time. Even with the rat, that had me on edge. And with the rat, I was like, oh, it's a fake rat. Clearly not. Now I'm gonna have to watch. I can't watch that scene again. I mean, knowing the rat survived is a thing, I guess.
Okay, so also the doctors that developed this stuff, the PhDs that developed this stuff, worked with the movie. They worked with them, supplied the fluid, everything. The rat was fine.
You're telling me Santa isn't real. I'm just in my mind, the possibility. Why are we not funding this?
The whole thing, the Family Guy scene where Peter walks out of the clinic.
But for real, if we have water, we can breathe. Why is this not on everyone's mind all the time?
Okay, so
I'm not even being dramatic.
No, I understand. You're right. I agree with you. My only thought back to that is I don't know if the premise of why they had the fluid in the movie is actually legit or not. Oh, you can breathe this and you won't decompress at deep levels. I'm well, what about all the air in your intestines? What about the air pockets in your chest? You have other spots in your body where there's air. How is that any different? And is that even practical? So that's where the science fiction aspect of this comes into play. Okay, so
I'm learning
it's much
how
more
little I know
subtle.
About my human body.
Yeah.
I mean, you fart, right? Everyone farts. Where do you think that gas comes from? It doesn't come from your lungs. It doesn't come from your lungs.
Yeah, but so that means Bacta tanks can be real things?
Bacta tanks can be real things. Just fill it up with liquid that's high in protein and that you can breathe, and that has, I don't know, that stuff you put on cuts before you put a Band-Aid on. Just swim in it.
This is incredible.
Okay,
anyway, I'll park it.
I want to get through two more.
Okay.
I want to get through two more things real quick, and then I'm done, and then you guys can talk about whatever else you want to talk about. Ed Harris will not talk about this movie.
I was gonna ask, did James Cameron try to put the liquid in his lungs too, and that's why he hates him now?
Okay, no. So he hates him because James Cameron kept film going when he was literally drowning. So there were two moments in during filming where so about how this movie was made. They were in a giant tank. Okay, there's that. Mm-hmm. They also filmed this partly in a smoke-filled room. I'll get to that later. So the scenes where Ed Harris almost drowned twice. The first time being the scene where he was swimming underneath the base, like going from one end to the other to like get the jump on the seals. Either he waved to the safety guy to like give him like air, and the safety guy couldn't get to him in time.
Whoa.
And so he almost drowned. That wasn't filmed. But what was filmed was when he was in the white suit and he literally had water in his helmet. Like they had real water in his helmet. So it looked real. And he was being towed along the bottom of the tank. And he gave the signal to the safety diver that he needed air. Safety diver went to go put the oxygen thing on his face, but Ed Harris was like either panicking or the safety person wasn't doing what they were supposed to be doing right, and put the thing on him upside down, and Harris thought the thing was on his mouth when it wasn't, and he breathed in.
Holy cow.
Thankfully, someone else was there that like saw that happen and gave him his own respirator that he was wearing to help with that situation, and they got him up and everything. And Ed Harrison took a few punches at James Cameron that landed after that scene happened, and he was fine to stand up. So there was a literal fight that broke out during filming, and for years Harrison would not talk about this, and eventually he did. And what he eventually said was, asking me how I was treated on The Abyss is like asking a soldier how he was treated in Vietnam. He will not talk about this movie. He hates the filming aspect of this movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So there's that. Yeah.
So, all right. So you know how I am always curious about like the production side of things. When they put that like breathable fluid into his helmet, I just went, okay, there's a helmet and then a helmet, and then they're filling up the gap in between.
Yeah.
They're actually filling that up with water?
Well, because if you watch that scene, the liquid is splashing against his face.
Man.
It looks realistic, right?
Yeah, it does.
Like,
it looks good, but wow. I figured it was just like, it was not bad.
Yeah, so there's that. And then I wanted to bring up something a little bit more realistic to give people an idea about how the depths of what this movie was filmed at. And I'm going to bring up a tragedy that happened a few years ago. The Titan disaster that happened.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't even a year ago.
No, that wasn't a year ago?
No.
Oh, okay. Wow. Oh, well, that's right. That happened this past July.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
What is the world?
Okay, so the depth that they most likely believed that the sub imploded and those people tragically lost their lives was at 11,482 feet, roughly. And the Titanic is about like 1,500 feet below that.
Okay.
In the floor. So that's the depth that happened at. The depths we're talking about here in this movie is between like 1,000 and 2,000 feet.
Oh.
So that gives you the idea of like where the rig was compared to where the submarine was that they went to. And then where the aliens were was another 2 miles down. And a mile is more than 5,000 plus feet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that's 2 miles down from that ledge that they were being pulled to by the crane, is what the crane fell into the water.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's just to give you an idea about what depths they were dealing with. and everything. So the Ed Harris thing, and I just wanted to give you an actual idea about where, like pressure-wise, where everything was happening. There's that. Other than that, I'm happy that you guys watched this movie. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to add or wanted to bring up? I mean, Devin, you said that you had something you wanted to put on the side for later. Like you were like, I need to put this off to the side for now or something.
It was aside from the fact that I just Googled breathable water, and I'm not sleeping tonight now. It was also the drowning scene, and that my dad never let me finish it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I got to finish that scene. Otherwise, yeah, I just like this movie. I mean, it's a good movie. Yeah. I'll watch it again. I'm now gonna be like looking out for like subtle signs of Ed Harris drowning in a couple of parts now.
Yeah.
Which is going to add another level of fear to me.
I just pictured Devin tonight like Googling breathable water, and just the Tim Robinson gift, like, there's got to be a way to make money off of this, like.
But guys, right.
I could make so much money off this. There's got to be a way.
Yeah. But yeah,
I've got nothing. I think James Cameron's a fine filmmaker. I just need to be in the mood. Like it's long. It's long.
It's a long haul. It's a slow burn. Yeah. I am like typically not a fan of slow burns, but like this movie is the special edition is 3 separate movies.
Yeah.
The first half is a drama about a marriage that fell apart and the people are trying to reconnect. The second movie that's in this film is about what happens when a SEAL team leader goes nuts, and how those SEALs deal with that within like a military thing. And then the last half is a survival movie that the whole alien thing gets trickled in there a little bit throughout. But that's one of the things I like about this movie. Like, there are 3 equally solid storylines going on in this movie at the same time, and they are intertwined in a way where when the end happens, it's not a complete shock.
Yeah,
especially with the special edition that we watched, which, like, after you telling me that, I'm really glad this is the first version I watched.
Yeah, so like, there's all of the encounters in the original, like the submarine, how it crashes, her seeing those 2 little like jet thingies, and like reaching out and touching the one and everything, like all of that's in the original cut. It's just, it makes more sense and is in the special edition. So to end this, I'm going to say, if anyone wants you to watch The Abyss, ask, is it the special edition, and do we have 3.5 hours? If the answer is no to either, you shelve it until you can watch the special edition.
Speaking of special editions, next week is May the 4th, and I'm really tempted to take my unspecial editions into work and watch them at the cinema. There.
Oh, that's really
not a bad idea.
But speaking of next week, Devin, next week is your pick. What are you going to have us watch? Something Star Wars related?
Guys, it's not. It's kind of. I'll tie it back in some way next week.
Okay.
This is something I wanted to do with you guys for a while. This is probably the most I think I'll ever act like Ryan on this podcast, where Ryan like has like sneaky little things like to sprinkle in. This is a sneaky little thing I want to sprinkle in for you guys. Guys, we're starting our this isn't every week. This is going to be a sometimes thing. We're starting our James Bond watch through. So we're starting with Dr. No. So that's next week.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Well, make sure to join us here live on YouTube next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. For that, we will also be... You can also catch up on You Have to Watch This podcast on all major podcasting platforms. And check out RumRunnersPodcastNetwork.com to check out our site and all the other Rum Runners Podcast Network podcasts. We are still a little bit behind in the podcast feeds because my computer, it's not at the end of its life. It's frustrating. But upgrades are happening. So I will be spending the weekend getting caught up on some things. So stay tuned for all of that on our podcast feeds. Until next time for You Have to Watch This podcast, I'm Alan.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Devin. That wasn't good. I'm not good.
And that's not what your mother said last night.
Does anyone want to guess if that was a Russian water tentacle?
Ew.